Good morning. It's Thursday, October 16th. That is correct. And we are starting the day at Megalithic Disneyland. Welcome to Carnac. There'll be a lot of standing stones, but just wanted to say my morning greeting and more in a bit. All right, here is a map of, they call them the alignments. And we're at the Maison de Megalith right there. So we're at the alignments du Minic. But there's a lot of stones. So we're going to go in the Maison de Megalith. And here it is, the house of the megaliths. Okay, I am standing on a little hill. Just to give you an idea, this is just one small section. This particular alignment, there's over 1,000 stones, and it goes way down there. This one is enclosed with a fence. The other ones we're going to visit today are open, I believe. We'll see. Okay, this is just someone's backyard. We're walking to go see the stones. This is just someone's backyard. And this is by the street. So, yeah, these stones are everywhere. Okay, from that other view, you did not get a sense of the alignment, but these are in completely straight rows. Wow. Okay, this is the other, there's a row that kind of divides this alignment of Minic, and the stones get real tiny down here. So look at all these little sheep. You guys are adorable. Oh my gosh. So we have some black sheep. A few black sheep. But they're real cute. They are definitely following me. I think they're used to people feeding them. But no, we don't have anything. I'm so sorry. All right, enough sheep. They're real cute. And this is pretty cool. It's a map of all the alignments on the side of this building. I like that. Clearly it's another gorgeous day. Oh my goodness. And we are here. Again, this is kind of overgrown with that gorse, I believe is what it's called. Oh, there's the Peloton. And when we first got here, there were gentlemen who were kind of weed whacking, but I'm not sure what they weed whacked. All right, this is the alignment of Carnac, and we can go in. The gate is open, so we're going to walk among the giants. All right. We are here among the giants. Give you an idea of how big they are. And again, you can see that they are definitely placed in straight rows. All right, filming. Oh, look who's there! Look at how big that is. That is amazing. Again, the thing that's interesting is you've got these huge rocks, and then they get much smaller as they go down the line. So obviously that was intentional. What it meant, no idea. And this is one of those dolmens. This is the inner chamber where they would have buried the individual. And then there would be a big pile of rocks around it, but those rocks are gone. So let's see if we can see inside. Okay, you can kind of see inside. It's not the top rocks. I think some are missing. But anyway, that's where the person that they buried would be, in there. And perhaps this rock on the ground was one of the capstone rocks. I don't know. Okay, and you can see them going up the hill. The rock's way out there going up the hill. And then there's this one here, the dark colored one, that's out of alignment. And you wonder, I wonder what that story was. All right, I am headed up to this tower, which hopefully gives a good viewpoint of the different alignments. Okay, and here's what I see. Again, here are the little bitty baby stones. That's the road we came down. And there's a little blue bug over there. And then you got the little stones. And then off in the distance were the giants that we were just at. Okay, we have been in search of this dolmen. It's kind of a complex. These folks are just leaving. And yeah, there are steps down here. I'm gonna go and see what there is. All right, I made it down. It is pitch black inside though. I'm gonna turn my flashlight on. All right, so again, this looks way brighter. I am the only one here. This is so cool. You've got the carvings. And I am exiting, going up the very steep staircase. And here is the very steep staircase, and I'm going to check out the other two. Okay, here is one. And this is very shallow, obviously not as deep. But this may have, the dirt may have been mounded up, or they may have built a structure over it. And here is the third one. And you can just walk right through. But again, yesterday when we were at the site of Loc Maria Quay, I believe, the original dolmen there had, this is what it looked like. And they rebuilt it based, I guess, on other dolmens they've found semi-intact. So this would have been covered over by a mound of earth. We are in the Museum of Prehistory in the town of Carnac, and this is about a tumulus, which is like a burial mound, and inside the tumulus is a dolmen. Yeah, I think I'm finally getting it, but this is very interesting. This is what the stones looked like back in the 1800s. There's no trees around, and there were so many beautiful trees today when we were walking. There's no trees. You can see that the tumulus is there. There's a church up there now, but and then all the stones that we saw earlier today, we can't see that now because of all the trees. It's very interesting. And this was a huge grave, and it was for just one person. They found all this in the grave. Okay, and this shows you the difference between the tumulus and the dolmen. So that is the dolmen, the stones, and then everything else, you know, all this land covers its stones, and it becomes a grave site. And this is how they build it. So we just finished in the Museum of Prehistory, and it was very interesting. The artifacts are pretty amazing that they found from these graves. Fascinating, really interesting. Small museum, but very well curated, very well done. And this is the church in Carnac. It looks really old. Let's see if we can go in. And this is the front of the church. Interesting decorations. We're gonna see if we can go in. It looks like it's open. Well, we stepped into the church, and it's incredibly richly decorated. The most impressive part is the ceiling. Like, the ceiling paintings are amazing, and it's very ornate. And walking down the, geez, it's really pretty. This is the main aisle. Here's the other side of the, it's not the center aisle, but it's the side aisle. And then we have a depiction of the Last Supper. But it is so pretty. And that is quite an organ and a decoration. Wow. We are at an adorable little restaurant called The Key. It's our last real night in France. Tomorrow night we're staying near Charles de Gaulle Airport. So, but my last time with Breton cider, and this is the best I've had. And then the view is fantastic. And this is our starter shrimp that I think were literally swimming around about 12 hours ago. So they look fabulous. And here was our little restaurant that we ate dinner at. It was charming. Oh my gosh. It had like this great jazz in the background. And the food was amazing. It was delightful. So I'm full. I'm happy. I've got the marina behind me, but you can't really see it. Today's our last full day in France. And tomorrow we head, it's probably a 6-hour drive maybe, to Charles de Gaulle. We spend the night there. And then we go on our way. Chip goes home and I go to the second part of my trip. So I probably will not be posting every day. Tonight will probably be my last regular post. I might post every other day. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. So remember, until then, buy the shoes. I got my shoes delivered today. Eat the cake. We had cake tonight. Yeah, cherry cake. And take the trip. You won't regret it. And we will see you when we see you next. Not from France, probably. Bye.